Welcome back to On the Porch with From Porch Music, hosted by the lovely
Why do you sound so
Tenille
sad?
I don't know. And I was going to insult you, and you just interrupted me.
Welcome back to On the Porch.
You are here. Oh, that went right through my own ears. That was so bad. We are back with another episode of On the Porch with From Porch Music, hosted by the lovely Jenna Weiser and the very, very annoying Logan Miller.
That's me.
We had such a fun chat with our guest today. I'm going to breeze right by the insult I just laid on you, and you took it. She has a list of accomplishments.
Yeah, can I read them to you?
Yeah, and while Logan's reading it, you can guess who we're talking about.
Okay. Her critically acclaimed Love, Heartbreak, and Everything in Between album yielded her first #1 single, Somebody Like That, which is certified double platinum. Crazy. The single made history as the first #1 country song written, produced, and performed by all females, also crazy, and was the first country song by a Canadian artist to reach #1 in the US since 2007, and the first Canadian female to hit #1 since Teri Clark in 2004.
Insane.
There's more. In 2022, she was nominated by the ACM Awards for New Female Artist of the Year, the iHeartRadio Music Awards for Best New Country Artist, the CMT Music Awards for Female Video and Breakthrough Video of the Year, and she won the Music Row Award for Breakthrough Artist of the Year and the AIMP 2022 Rising Artist Writer of the Year Award. I can quite literally, this still goes.
Our guest today is the lovely Tenille Arts. Now, we didn't even get into some of the things that are super cool about her career. She's been on The Bachelor. She's been on the Kelly Clarkson show. She's toured all over North America. But we talked about career, industry, learning. We had a really good chat. So if you're an artist and about to listen, get your notes out.
Pay attention.
She has built an incredibly loyal fan base and maintained it. It's pretty fascinating to see such a great fan base in a day of music consumerism being so passive. Huge kudos to her. This intro is getting too long, so we'll park it. Make sure you check out her brand new song, Lonely Weekend. She did say the video for it is pretty fire.
Here's our conversation with Tenille Arts.
What's the weather like today where you are? Are you in Nashville?
I am in Nashville. I think it got up to about 90 Fahrenheit today, so hot day. It's currently warm in here.
Yeah, my house is steamy too.
Yeah.
No. It's 40 degrees. I'm downtown Toronto. It's hot outside, but my condo is nice. So I'm staying inside today. I'm hiding. I think that's the right thing to do. Why don't we just jump right into it? What's going on? You've been releasing so much music recently, and then we'll just keep going. We'll work around.
Yeah. I mean, it's been very busy. We release a new song, Lonely Weekend, tonight. So I'm just very excited, kind of wrapping up everything. I've been super hands-on with these last few releases with the new team that I've been working with. So putting a lot of pressure on myself to do all of the things, but I love it. And I'm so glad that I'm able to release so consistently now. It's really a big change from just doing albums to something like this. So it's been good.
You've kind of always been more hands-on in your career though, no? You've never, yeah?
Yeah, for the most part, I've been able to, fortunately be so much a part of creating the music, writing it, that, it kind of makes sense for me to lead the charge on some of the other things that go along with it. So yeah, it is a lot, but it's, I'm fortunate enough to have a team, so it's not just me, but yeah. I do like to be pretty hands-on, and I just, I see the vision and like to try to create that every time I have a release.
Going from, like you mentioned, predominantly releasing albums to moving into more releasing single after single, what's kind of the artistically and even admin wise, what's kind of the difference for both of those ways of releasing music?
Well, I kind of felt with releasing albums, we did have some songs that came out prior to the actual full album release, but I felt sometimes some of those songs would get lost in the album and never really get that main focus that I felt some of them should. Some of those album cuts are some of my favorite songs ever, and they didn't necessarily get their time to shine. So I think this way is a little different, and you're kind of able to like test the waters a little bit more. You kind of have a better idea of what people are connecting with, and then you can kind of shape your album, I guess, a little bit better, because we will be coming with an album in 2027. But all of these songs leading up to that, if for some reason, not that I would necessarily change my direction drastically, but if for some reason people are like, oh, I don't like that, or that production doesn't sound like you, or whatever, like there's an opportunity to change or grow, or, kind of shift things around. Even in the songwriting process, like some songs have already been beat out by other songs that I've written more recently, which is very different for me because I've always kind of been like, these are the songs, this is the album. And now it's like, I don't know what the album is going to look like, to be totally honest, which is scary. And I'm sure my publicist is like, what the heck are you saying? But I'm like, no, I really I don't know. And I think that's kind of the exciting thing, because we're all kind of like figuring it out together.
Kind of fun also because you've been doing this for a decade at this point? And you still get to learn something new and try something different. And you're doing something that's scary and it's not just the same thing over and over. So it's kind of nice to be able to do that even 10 years into your career,
Yeah. And also within those 10 years, how we release music and how we promote it has changed drastically. And it's so interesting to me because I'm not really I like social media. I like that it gets I'm connected with people, but I'm sure you've seen how many artists are like, this is we didn't sign up for this. This is a whole other level of promoting yourself versus when I first started, it was still a very much the labels do that kind of stuff. And that's kind of what you're relying on. And now you're relying on yourself basically to make content, to be there every day and be present. So it's different.
And it can really feel like you're just with social media screaming into the emptiness of the world because sometimes no one is seeing any of it.
And that's been kind of one of the more interesting things. It's I'll spend so much time making this content that's, a team has worked on it, and then some silly video of my cat with the song behind.
I know.
It's we're just constantly adjusting and just seeing what sticks. And for me, that kind of makes my brain go a little crazy because I'm I just feel kind of all over the place, but that's kind of what social media calls for. So yeah.
Yeah, it must make you feel a little crazy because you are objectively quite successful. A single with that's double platinum, #1, crazy stats, and then to have the same irritation with social media as everyone else must be crazy for you.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I'm just we've seen a ton of artists speak out about this of just we don't feel lip syncing into our phones is the best way to represent our music, but that's kind of the thing right now, and I'm sure that will change.
Mm-hmm.
But that's kind of where it's at, and so learning to adjust to that is a tough thing. But again, it's amazing if it does really well. Now you've got this awesome platform, so it's yeah.
I've seen a bunch of artists speaking out on the social media thing and candidly saying my team wants me to post this to see if you guys actually like it, and I don't want that to be the reason I release a song. It's just such a different
also
way.
Feels made up too. People are oh, my team's had to do this. Did they?
Yeah, truly.
Right. And I'm always I am also consuming the same way you guys are. So I'm so curious, from your point of view, what that kind of looks like. How are you guys reacting to it? And even in your own life, what do you like? It's kind of,
yeah. It's, I think we can tell. So I think I can tell when it's organic and somebody's do you like this song? I'm curious. And it's weird when it's a large artist where you're obviously people are going to like it. You have so many fans. It's just, I like seeing it when it's a small person and it's they have 200 likes on their video and it's oh my God, this is a new person. People are discovering them, as opposed to somebody who's got a top 10 at radio being do you guys like this one? I'm going to turn it up. We want to know. And you're of course they're going to like it.
Well,
Yeah.
even Jenna and I have had these conversations. We'll send each other a video, be is this real or no?
Right. I know. It's kind of I don't know. Like, I feel the same way just watching it from my own, like, as a fan of other people. So I'm just assuming that other people are thinking the way you guys are too. But yeah, as it stands, here we are.
Doing it anyways because you have to. It's just so interesting how I like a song that an artist believes in because they love it, and it's like not something curated for the internet. It's not, your song. I hate you and be sad. That's not the right title. I
If
still
somebody
hate you.
told me you were dying, it's a really long title.
Yeah, I was like, it's long, but I have the wrong spot. I'm
You
like,
had some of the right words.
there's no way that the internet wasn't like, what is she singing about? I need to know. Like that is one, love that song. Two,
Me
like
too.
so interesting to like clip. I'm sure to clip piece of that and people be like, what is she saying? Where does this go? Because then you listen to the whole thing and you're like, oh yes, I love it.
It's a little unhinged, and that's like honestly that should be the title of the next album because I feel like you guys are about to like every song has like a little bit of me writing something unhinged in my journal and then bringing it into a writing session. So that's kind
That's a
of
great title for an album.
Truly, that's so interesting. It's so interesting though. Hey, think about like when you were releasing your first album versus now, like the things that have just changed so much. Do you think about like that young version of you releasing your first album being like you had no idea what was in store for you and now being like, "Oh my gosh, the way things change."
Yeah, I mean, well, I had always heard like you have your entire life to write your first album. So that was kind of like where my mind was at. You know what I mean? Like if you've never released anything, like you can put so much into that. Once you let people into it, it's like it's a little bit different, not only like in the way now that we're promoting it, but like people do know parts of my life and can point fingers at who a song might be about and all of those things. So I have to be like mindful of that in a sense, like, you know, if I sing a sassy breakup song, like, I don't necessarily want people, like, bashing that person, but I want them to be on board, you know what I mean? So, it's, yeah, you kind of now that I've let people into my world, it's a little bit different, but it's also really cool that people are, like, that invested in things that I have to say and what's going on in my life, like, prior to my first album being released, like, nobody knew anything about me, you know? And now it's they're there. They're involved.
Yeah. Do you still believe like you have your whole life to write your first album? Like do you think like if that's something that like young artists or emerging artists or young, anybody who's like looking to do their first project, do you think that's a thing or do you think it's like, you better figure it, you know?
I mean, I don't know. I just feel like for me, when I released my first album, it was like I had been writing for it since I was like 15 years old. So you live all of those life experiences and you've got a lot to talk about. You've got a lot to say. And then it's like once things start rolling, you're not really like living normal life. You're kind of like in this artist mode. And I think like even with this new album, like I kind of rushed, I feel like, into my last album. And so for this one, I was like, I need to live a little bit more life to be able to like write a whole album about it. You know what I
Mhm.
mean? So
Yeah.
as far as like a new artist, I think like capitalizing on all of those emotions and ups and downs that you go through for your first album, like take advantage of that and really write about it and focus on it. And then as you move forward, make sure you're still taking time to just live. And because that's what people want to hear. They want to hear real stories in real life. They don't want you just like making up, pop country songs. They want to know what's up. So
Yeah. Why did you feel like your last album was rushed?
I felt like being on tour and trying to um write and record was very like draining. Like I would get back to Nashville and it was like, okay, now you're doing this. And I didn't really have much time to like really think through the entire project. And I still love all of those songs so much. I would almost just like want to redo the whole release, if that makes sense. Like I would want to kind of like focus a little bit more like I am now of like what do these songs mean and how can I bring people into that world versus just like, having a couple of songs out from it and then releasing it. And I don't know. I don't know how people do it on tour. Maybe I just needed different support in different areas to be able to like really focus, I guess.
Maybe that, and like it's just like not the way you like create and execute like different things at the same time. Like maybe you just need more space for the writing and the like putting an album together. What you could do
Do it
is,
Tenille's version.
well, there's
Yes.
that, but I was thinking like you could actually like package up these like album cuts that you love that didn't get their moment into their own thing and do it again, you
I
know?
would honestly love that. I would love to revisit some of them because I just feel like it did capture like such a time in my life that was really unique. Like I was writing breakup songs even though I hadn't gone through a breakup yet. And so it's like, was I manifesting that like a
Maybe.
and yeah, so it was like I was singing these breakup songs and I didn't quite understand why I was like thinking like that and why my thought process was there. But I think I was writing that whole album with thinking like this person had one foot out the door. And so at any moment, it felt like those songs were going to be relevant in my life. And it was very weird. It was just a weird time.
Maybe you subconsciously knew that maybe like your one foot was out the door because you thought theirs was. Huh.
Hmm. Yeah,
So interesting, eh?
That would be a really cool project to put all those together and like
Yeah.
wrap it up into a nice vinyl and like
I would love that.
that'd be
Okay.
cool.
Selfishly, he loves the vinyl. That's why
Yeah,
he says
that's
I love good
selfishly,
vinyl
I'm gonna
too.
need you to do that.
I do love a good vinyl. There's something about, like, being able to, like, listen through an entire album like that. I'm so for it.
Can you think of like when you think about the songs that like didn't get their moment? What's the one that comes to mind immediately for you all the time?
My gosh. I would have to go, like, honestly look at the entire list of songs on that record because I I don't know. I felt like some of them had hidden meanings that I never really explained, if that makes sense.
Okay.
Um, like, a song called "How Do You Sleep" was actually, like it was written after, um, a school shooting here in Nashville, and, like, I never even really explained, like, that's what I was singing about, and I don't think it, like, fully came across as, like, no, this is, like, a real life thing. My co-writers and I were sitting here thinking, like, "How do we write a song today? Like, this feels so heavy and so daunting, and, like, do songs even matter in times like these?" And it's like, yeah, they do, and I just never really got to get to those points in that album.
Those co-writers are insanely stacked also. It's like I'm gonna go find this now. King Henry and Sasha Alex Sloan. Like, come on.
Yeah, there were a few good writes with them, and I'm just like, yeah, they're that kind of stuff. Like, I was just writing with a lot of new people and exploring, and even in the production world, like, it was a really fun, creative time to be, just, like, messing around with the sound and trying to grow in that direction. But, you'll hear on this next album, I'm kinda going back to my roots a little bit.
Do you feel good about that? Like, what like, being able to have, like, tried something new and still be able like, feel good about going back to kinda
Yeah.
where yeah?
I'm definitely glad that I did that because I think I would have always been, like, thinking and, like, chasing something that maybe wasn't the right path to be going down, you know? And so I feel like this new album, like, I'm working with Alex Klein a lot more again, who was the producer on Somebody Like That, and it just feels a lot more, like, focused and easy to be myself because I don't have to try in those
Mhm.
situations to be anything. I just show up and write songs that feel very me.
And that's with somebody, like, already too, so it's not, like, trying new things with new people. It's like
Yeah,
yeah, yeah.
and it's been good, yeah.
Yeah, that's great.
Can we talk about somebody like that quickly? I mean, I plan on talking about this later, but we've brought it up, so why not? Um, did you like when you released that? Did you kind of know it was going to do what it did? Like this song has gone double platinum. That's insane.
Yeah, I mean, Somebody Like That was one that I was like we got the demo back that day because it was actually 2 writing sessions. We started the song, we were like, "Okay, we're gonna come back and tweak it." And then we had a demo back after the 2nd day, and I just remember listening to it in the car being like, "This is it." Like, I knew it. There was a moment of, "Oh, this is kind of what I've been waiting for. This has kind of been the buildup of writing all of these songs." This was kind of the one that was like enough down the middle that I felt like a lot of people would gravitate towards it, but also so me in every way that it was just like, this is a no-brainer, and that would be the song that I would want to be known for, and, like, I was literally thinking that as I was listening to the demo for the first time, so, yeah, it kind of weirdly ended up exactly how I thought and hoped that it would.
I mean, like, for everyone listening who doesn't know, Tenille, if you don't want to hear these credits read back to you, just plug your ears now. Yeah, like, this song has gone double platinum. It made history as the first #1 country song written, produced, and performed by all females. Was the first country song by a Canadian artist to reach #1 in the U.S. since 2007, and the first Canadian female to hit #1 since Teri Clark in 2004.
Pretty crazy.
Explain yourself.
Like, I don't know, like, that all of those stats, by the way, were, like, things that we didn't even know, like, could happen. I had already assumed that an all-female team had done that. I had no idea until we were, like, top 20 and someone on our team was like, "Hey, we might wanna look into this because I just randomly had a thought, that I don't think anybody has done this before." And so then we went down that rabbit hole and they were like, "Yeah, this is, if this went #1, this would, make history." And we're like, "Okay, that's really cool." And then just some of the other that like Teri Clark, I actually went over to her house after the #1 and she was like, "You throned me." But I was like, "This is so cool." Like I think growing up in Canada, I always kind of questioned whether my move to Nashville was the right call because I was like, I know I want to be in Nashville. I know that this is like where the people that I want to create music with are. Canada didn't really have a great hub for me. I kept going back and forth between like where do I want to be? And when I chose Nashville, I was like, okay, like I am a small fish in a very big pond here, like now it's worldwide. We're competing with a lot of people. Um, and so I guess like I always had my sights set on like, let's break records and all of these things. But then to see that, since Teri Clark, another female hasn't done that, that was just crazy
Which
to
is
me.
crazy.
Just like it still blows my mind, and like when people say things like that, I'm like, I don't know. I don't know if I believe it. For me, I don't think that that's me, but it's pretty cool.
That's actually genuinely one of those songs for me though, where I'm like, there is literally dopamine inserted into this somewhere. There has to be because it just like does something to my brain.
Yeah, there's something about it. I don't know. And that's like kind of now when you know what that feels like, you kind of chase that with
Yeah.
every other song that you work on. And you're just like, obviously, not all of them are going to be radio singles. So, like, that's always been my thought of like, how do I make sure all of these songs like have their moment, knowing that they can't all be that
It's true.
thing?
And I feel like you were releasing your first album and in that kind of like timeline where people were writing for radio and that was what they wanted, like that's what you kind of thought you had to do. Has your mind shifted around that where you're like, I write songs I love and if it's something we think is good for radio, so be it. And if not, forget it.
A
It's still a
thousand
great song. Yeah.
1,000%. I have totally changed my mind about how I write. And I've really just focused on like, what would I want to hear? And if it, you know, for some reason ends up being like people's favorite song that I play out live, it's like, oh, that's the one that, might have potential for radio. And like kind of just looking at it more like that than we got to write a radio hit today. And every songwriter that if I said that to my co-writers, they'd be like, we want radio singles." You know what I mean? But as an artist, like, you really have to think about sometimes those radio songs are very unexpected. They're not the ones that you think are going to, pop off, and when I think about that, I think about, like, "Burning House" by Cam. That was one that people were like, "Oh, that's not radio," and I'm like, "That's a
But
huge."
it's so good.
It's a huge radio hit, you know what I mean? And it's just like, that's the kind of song that, hopefully I have another #1, that'd be amazing, but I would honestly want it to be a song that, like, surprises me. Like, it's one that's just like, "Whoa," like, I wrote that from a really real place, and that is 100% me, and people like it. That would be my goal, for sure.
That makes it feel more authentic.
Yeah. Oh, 1,000%. I think you have to be like that now as well. Now that we've let all of these people into our lives, I think they can smell when things aren't like real and authentic. Like you were saying, Jenna, like sometimes you can tell when people aren't posting their true, genuine self or telling the truth about why they're promoting the song that way, you know?
Exactly. Exactly. Like how that's also not an easy thing to think about is like how you grew up in a certain like the music industry changes every day and the time frame where you like start kind of makes a difference in how you are able to evolve and perceive the industry m- as you like grow up in it. I don't know. But like for you, how have you had times where you're like I was told this is what I need to do and do you ever struggle with that between like what you think you should do or what you were told to do and find yourself even today thinking that sometimes?
Yeah, I think, when I started in the industry, there was like kind of a very clear path of like how to become that kind of artist that we all dream about being, playing arenas and all of these things. And I do feel like that blueprint has like totally dissolved. Like, I don't think that that's true anymore. And I think I don't even know that labels have necessarily like caught up to what people want and need. And it's just this constant like back and forth. And so I find it hard to trust like people's opinions, that we're supposed to trust in the music industry because I just don't know, like, if they're willing to change and grow and move with everything, then I'll trust their opinion. But if they're kind of stuck in like the old ways, I'm like, I don't know that that's the, advice that I want to be taking anymore. I think it's kind of a free for all, to be totally honest.
Uh, there's also this like pieces of the industry like radio, like labels, love you guys, but they think that they still can dictate exactly what people want and consumers are kind of in charge. So it's like this weird thing like clashing right now.
Yeah, and I think there's people that do it really, really well. And there
For
are
sure.
labels and people that have adjusted. And again, like I think just being open minded to those things and willing to change their mind and grow with the industry and with the artists that they have signed, because some people get signed when they're 15 years old. And as you grow and change, I mean, so much changes in the industry that you have to have people around you that are willing to go there with you. You
Yes.
can't live in, the 90s.
No.
It
I think
is
we
it is weird though because like radio and labels still in a lot of ways do dictate that in terms of like from like the industry and the business side of things. But I think we're at this weird crossroads where eventually like what's it called, the Venn diagram or like the belt, like the curve or whatever is going to or the pendulum is going to swing the other way, and and it will be very much consumer based.
Yeah, I think, again, it's so hard to tell where we're gonna be even in a year from now,
literally.
with new technology and new things
What
coming.
trend is going to be next if it's not going to be lip syncing into our phone in our cars?
Right. I know, and I'm so curious what the next thing is, and, you know, I definitely wanna be more on top of it this time because I feel like sometimes I'm a little shy to, like, new social media things, and I'm just like, I really wanna push myself. Whatever the new thing is, like, I wanna just, like, try it immediately and see what happens. Because I was kind of, ahead on the TikTok side of things, but I was also bedazzling things. I wasn't even really promoting my music, so I don't know.
Did you bedazzle your guitar in during COVID?
I sure did, and that was, like, the videos that got, like, millions of views on TikTok, so, like, I'm sure people are following me now going like, "Why am I following this girl? Like, why is she promoting
She hasn't
music?"
bedazzled in a while.
Yeah.
Hey, you could lip sync while bedazzling. There you go.
Maybe I'll try that out.
I think we should talk about your fan base because you have a anytime I consume your content or like something, there is like Tenille Arts fan pages and they are active and they are on top of things. And it's like kind of fascinating in an era where like I think country fans are like very passive and you have like you built something and it maintains. Like I think there's a huge lesson and in like seeing your fan base and it being something that's like pretty loyal?
I mean, I just think like the fact that these people made these fan pages and they've kept up with them like over all these years, like their lives have changed drastically. And I'm just like, I'm watching them still post my stuff, and it's really cool. You know, there's like a fashion page, there's an HQ, there's a updates page, there's all of these pages, and I'm just like,
They all you.
It's well, that's what I was saying. I was like, girl, that people do that. They have to do that for themselves now, and like you didn't have to do that, which is
I
crazy.
know. Honestly, I'm like, I wish people knew that like that's not me. That is like people are like really that interested, and I love it.
Yeah, like I think the question is not how did you do it, but like how do you still do it, because it's so different now the way people consume music and everything else. Do you think it has to do with like you are authentic regardless of if you're like shy on the internet sometimes, like that's your thing and you're like super supportive of your fans? Like how do you think this is all kind of like stayed for you?
I think I've just really like latched on to them because I've always wanted to feel that like included, and I think that they have felt that way too. So we kind of all found each other, and most of it, you know, happened during COVID while we were all sitting on our phones, and I really built that relationship early on to the point where it's like now we're just like maintaining this really fun relationship. We don't have to try, you know, too hard. And yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think COVID was so crazy, but that was like one really amazing thing that I got from it, because I was literally seeing fans like you and I are looking at each other like this is how I was connecting with them. I was live almost every day. I was, you know, doing interviews constantly, and it was just like we really got to know each other on a more like personal level than I think a lot of fans get to know our favorite artists. So it was just this unique like storm of, hey, you don't have anything to do, I don't have anything to do, let's hang out and become friends. Like genuine, I would consider them friends. Pretty cool.
Well, I think that's kind of part of it now too, is like you gave people the thing that fans want in return, and that's like connectedness to the person behind the songs. And that's shouldn't be unique, but I think it might be.
I think it is. Like you build that foundation quite strongly so that anytime now that, you know, new stuff comes out, you have a tribe around you to rally.
It has been cool, yeah, because it also allowed me to kind of take some time to figure out this next chapter, and I wasn't sure if they were all going to be there when I came back, you know, but they were, and they were ready to support and come along with this next chapter. And I think, you know, a lot of that had to do with my songwriting as well. I was like, you know, I'm not 21. I'm not writing about going to the bars and all these things. Like, you know, so many people around me are getting married and having babies and all of these things. And I'm like, I feel like I have to kind of write towards that now. And it's allowed me to be very present and be like very with them on their journey as well. And, you know, sometimes it's hard to find those songs that really resonate with you at these different stages in life. And I don't know how else to be other than like write about it. So they've kind of come along on this journey with me, and I've gone along with them.
I think that's just like so important. I think that's how you like create community, and I think that's how I think there's a lot of lessons for other artists in this, and how you like communicate with your fans and like actually reach them and keep them. And it's like you didn't do it because you think you should. You did it because it felt like something. One, you had time during the pandemic. Two, it's like you connected with people and stayed connected with them. And I think I just think that's so important. I love it.
Thank you. I feel very grateful that that's kind of how that's all shaped out.
Yeah. Cool. Okay, so you have a song coming out. Lonely Weekend is new. You've put out Don't Ruin Flowers. And the song that I'm going to say the wrong end of the chorus, I'm going to say the wrong end of it. If somebody told me you were dying. That's right. That's right.
Imagine my team when I said, no, that's the title. It's this long.
They're like, does it have to be?
Like, yep.
Merch is just like, you know, the The title just starts to go down the side.
It didn't fit on some things, and I was just like, no, we're going with
Sorry.
it.
Yeah, it is what it is. It has to be. But yeah, you're in this new era of music, and you like feel like you're kind of like leaning back into something familiar, but in a good way. Like, how has it been writing this? And you've been writing with our friend Lydia Sutherland, I believe, quite a bit too. We love Lydia. But yeah,
Shout
how's
out.
all? Yeah. So you've got lots more coming, obviously. So like, what's all this like? What's the excitement around this for you?
I mean, I think I've really just been pushing myself. Like, I've kind of gone down this path of I wanted really interesting song titles, and that has pushed me to again go back to some of the most unhinged things that I've written in my journal, and it has pushed me to just allow people into my mind because I think that's kind of like the most unique thing about me. If I'm, thinking about it, I'm just like, there's a lot of things that I have thought, and then I've been like, "Oh, I don't know, I bet nobody else has ever thought that before," and I'm always wrong. There are always other people out there that have felt the same things and, said the same things, or they don't know how to say it, and I'm able to maybe articulate it for them, and that's kind of been this whole new chapter is just like, how do I be my most authentic self, but also push myself to you know, write these songs that are fun to sing that are, just all so different. I kind of started out with the breakup songs, but you guys will see they get a little bit more sassy as we go along and as we grow. And then I'm gonna, just really always go back to some of these main topics that I've touched on every album, like body image and all of those things. But I'm writing it about it from a very different headspace, and I think it's gonna just be interesting to see how people respond to some of them.
Yeah, that's so exciting. Are you touring or playing live shows much this year, or is this a year of releasing music and then you'll hit the road after?
It's kind of a bit of like a mix of the two. I'm kind of building up to some more things. But at the beginning of the year, we weren't really touring, and now I'm definitely excited to get out. The more that I've played some of these new songs live, I'm like, yeah, I want to be out on the road and be doing this really consistently. So I will let you guys know when there's
That
I
is
can't wait to hear them.
exciting. Okay, selfishly, as a lover of your music, I want to know what you're inspired by right now because I one need Rex, but two, I'm like, where's your inspo coming from?
Honestly, when I'm writing, I don't listen to a lot of music, and specifically, I know this is might not be the best, but I specifically try not to listen to country music just because I'm like, I really don't want to like accidentally, in my subconscious write something that's already happened or happening.
Yeah.
So I've been listening to, I mean, I think Macy Peters might be like I've already worn out her new album because it's so good, and again, I think, like, her and I, like, align on some of the ways that we write and just some of the things that we say. It's very, straight from your journal type of stuff, so that would probably be, like, my main girl right now.
Love it.
Love
I
it.
love it. I think it's also fun too to find inspiration and like it's like like I totally get the like not wanting to listen to country and
Mhm.
keeping like yeah, keeping your inspiration specific, but also finding it in other places other than just like sound or like or theme. Like you can just like listen to something that's completely different to what you create and you can find that inspiration. I just yeah, I love that.
Yeah, I see that a lot in different genres, like, I'm just like, "Oh, interesting," like, I look at the pop world, like, it's just so unique the way that there's, like, a million genres in pop. And I know we see that a little bit in country, but, like, country's a little bit more like, we know what's country.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
still rooted around one commonality, really.
But yeah, I think it's just fascinating to look at like, okay, what are other people doing and what are other people consuming? Because again, in a world where we can see what people are gravitating towards and what they're liking and everything, it's like, if I think something's weird and then it blows up for somebody else, I'm like, oh, maybe it's not that strange. Maybe
Mhm.
that's actually the perfect path to be going down. So yeah, it's cool to listen.
It probably also helps you, like, to not chase trends, which is a really good thing, I think, for artists.
Yes, that has always been kind of my thing too. Early on, it was very, very tempting to like look at what was on the radio and what was happening at that time. But I think if you're chasing that, you're like 10 steps behind already because everybody else has already moved on. And like that song was probably written 3 years ago and now it's on the radio. So to stay ahead of those things, you kind of just have to like stay in your own lane.
Huge lesson. Huge lesson. Okay, I think we're kind of getting to our time.
Yeah, we're towards the end here, which is, it blew right by.
Yeah, seriously, what the heck? This is part one? This is part one.
Well, Tenille, thank you so much for joining us. I can't wait to hear what's coming next. And I really appreciate you taking the time to join us.
And
Thank
make
you
sure
so much.
Listen to Lonely Weekend.
Yeah, now also the video is so funny. If you guys haven't been able to check it out, it's pretty awesome. And I've worked with Ryan Nolan again, who also did If Somebody Told Me You Were Dying, and it's just we really pivoted to a new vibe. So if you guys get to check it out, it's pretty funny.
Thanks for listening to another episode of On the Porch with Front Porch Music. We're so lucky to be able to chat with artists and make episodes like this one. If you like the podcast, remember to rate and review us, and subscribe so you don't miss an episode. It's the easiest way to support the show. Remember to check out frontporchmusic.ca to keep up with new music releases, exclusive artist interviews, and more. We'll catch you again on The Porch in a couple of weeks. On The Porch is hosted by Logan Miller and Jenna Weiser, and produced and edited by Jason Saunders. That's me. Our theme song was written, produced, and performed by Owen Wrigley.